Yes. Say what?
Sure.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here, also.
I have a year under your belt. And,
You go 40 years.
yeah.
It's cold. All right, what do we have? Just gonna go through the list like normal, then we'll add on at the end. What do you guys?
And,
Everybody tell us now. Everybody that's been here? Yeah, there's two. Thanks, all right. But you like format with the ideas, right?
yeah, but I have to always say, I love how, at the very top, that I was looking at it. How you got, adopted, revision. I think that that's always nice to see this. It looks good before, we never remember what. I love it. I love that.
And now we'll start at goal one and we'll start scrolling down.
For me. You know, me to read them to you guys and then you stop me if you have questions or you want to change or remove it. Okay, so goal one is promote proper management of capital assets and infrastructure. And then going further into that, or a little more detailed, objective one is to complete sewer collection system repairs. We have historically prioritized these two, and if you look at the bottom of your page, it tells you priority 5 is the lowest, one the highest. That's a refresher, but this is ongoing. And then kind of a subnote to that is jetting and repairing sections from the backups and this is also ongoing. What is jetting? Jetting out would be like using the back truck that you're purchasing and you actually run to like clean the line out. So you'll flush it and make sure there's nothing backed up or you can sub stuff out of it as well.
So with the jetting, I was kind of wondering if we take this off, but from what I'm hearing you say, it's ongoing because we have to continue with our sections, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so
Is that how you look at that?
yes, I actually, I don't know that this has to be a goal necessarily because regardless if it's goal, it's preventative maintenance. We are going to do that to our system all the time. And every year we do sections that again, we know are prone to backup so that we have issues with. Typically, like Eagle would like to see us hit at least 20% a year of our system, just so we're always doing it. So I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm saying
Right.
they were to keep that.
And you guys have that document somewhere of what year, what sections, et cetera,
Yeah,
et cetera.
right, keeps track of all of that.
But does that really have to be like is it an ongoing thing? It's something that has to be done, it's being done in different areas.
Do you remember why we put it on there, Mike? Do you remember why? Why we have it on there as an objective? Anybody?
I think we were having a lot of issues at the time. But then much like anything else, we could buy that back truck, it's gonna help us. You know, again, maybe the question now is if Danielle and Brett sat down and said, okay, like she said, we're gonna do 20 or 25% a year. You know, what is your guys' schedule for that? Again, they're constantly busy. You know what I mean? So what's the next step? How do we phase it and to utilize that truck? Not only for, you know, doing our pop boards and things like that for our service lines, but the whole other reason to purchase that truck, we're gonna be a lot more proactive in vacuuming, you know, cleaning those sewers. There should be some sort of schedule that created to do that, so.
Well, they didn't do it without a back truck then. I mean, I thought, my mind is, if we have a back truck, it's gonna make what we already do easier to do it.
Exactly.
So when I think in the schedule, we're just.
Yeah, we think so. Right.
It can actually be on some type of a schedule.
Right.
And then if there's an issue someplace where it's not on schedule, we have that.
We've read it, but.
Yeah, we typically contract.
So in the contract, we get them to clean it out, or we do the company.
No, they do it. So we tell them which sections of main we want cleaned out and then they go clean those.
Now, does that take more than one person to do?
The back truck, Yes, it would take two. Okay.
What are your thoughts on this, Danielle, leaving it on as subjective or, I mean, I know you're gonna say our pleasure, I understand it, but from your perspective.
I guess my question to you guys is, what are you looking for? If you're wanting a more formal schedule, then you can amend it to say that's what you want. If you're just wanting us to continue preventatively working on it, I think.
No, I would like to schedule.
So I would amend it, if that's what
Yeah.
you're looking for. I would say maybe jetting and repairing sections, prone to backups, and creating a preventative maintenance schedule or something.
Bam, that's,
Well as going through again, you know, how old some of our catch basins, things like that, a lot of them are literally brick, they're probably, so yes. Let's start documenting, driving them out, saying, you know, this catch basin's 100 years old, about ready to collapse or whatever. Let's start, you know, doing some follow good scheduling, again, like you said. Saying, okay, at least it's on the radar, we know where our issues are, we may not be able to afford it now, but we sort of kind of like progress up, we want to make over.
So one more thing, so when we contracted that out, it's a two-man crew, but they're operating. Do we have anybody from that would tag along to check that stuff out to make sure that?
So one person typically will go with them when we contract it out. When we have our own truck, it'll be.
Yeah. The reason I ask is because, like we talked about, this is made out of bricks, you know, so there's all this stuff that is part of the class. If they're cleaning it out and they're inspecting, we can kind of get a, you know, what needs to be done. And how soon?
It's like down Fortier Street, I know we've had some flooding issues back up again, so yeah, again. If we start one area, we start working our way out, we're gonna hopefully, you know, alleviate a lot of the bad conditions that we had. We kind of focus on the more trouble periods, I guess, that we had in the past. The diapers and those kind of things have been largely covered. It's more preventive maintenance, I think that's kind of our overall goal is.
yeah.
So I do want to make sure that you guys, I just want to make sure you guys understand that you are talking about, I believe, two different systems though. So this goal is specific to sewer collection, so that would be our sewer going out to the wastewater treatment plant. When you're talking about the, like catch basins, you're talking about storm sewer, correct?
Yeah, well, both, but yeah, but mainly still relative, yeah.
Okay, that's how because we do have manholes in the sewer system, but I thought you were talking about like the storm
Storm
catch
probably
basin,
first,
so. With that being said, could I maybe do a separate objective that talked about stormwater?
Yeah.
Instead of placement and identifying, and then it can be a little bit more specific, I'll figure out exactly how to word that, but. Okay.
It's all encompassed under the catalyst, that's infrastructure, because much like, you know, when our streets need to be resurfaced, you know, kind of do that, so with all, you know, it's not always consistent, but, you know, some great parts of that, but again, yes, it's sort of the overall planning process of how we're most effective and efficient, how we pay this stuff off.
So objective 2 is complete street repairs and improvements, add curb and gutter when full rebuild state place, and this is ongoing. I will say, I think we did this really well, with all the infrastructure we have, we do pretty good with our streets.
I would like to do the hand builds and things like that. You know, we go in, we mill and fill, but a lot of the curbs are 20, 30, 40 years old. Again, let's close, like when we do it all, or do it one street, let's do it all. It's not completely rebuilt it. But if there's a, you know, obviously curb cut or broken things like that, we go and mill and build.
Is that already being done?
We don't always, because we are trying to keep the project affordable and keep as much as I can. And I know that Mike has brought that up before, so we have been trying to look at that. And
Do it, complete it,
you know, check it on.
Especially the underground utilities are somewhat bigger, you know, they'll be done. We're gonna tear it up in 10 years, you know, that doesn't make sense, but. Yeah, you know, the underground water and sewer and all that stuff.
Which is really the challenge we have with our streets is where you are making this. Typically, we typically don't touch curb. Unless you're going down This and that, so we're saying like replacing the base or running water and sewer. And that's not, Blissfield's not unique, that's how most communities do it because it's the most cost effective way to do curb and gutter. But what Mike's saying is he would love to see the goal would be that we do curb and gutter even with them. If we have like infill areas for the broken out. Correct.
Can that be planned for?
Well, to a degree, yes. Our road, this is so hard because I can't give you guys a plan for roads that says we're gonna do. Then I'm gonna make up Giles, Jefferson and White in 27 because that may be our plan right now. But then what could happen is that Sherman completely deteriorates and we say Sherman needs attention. White can make it another 2 years, so we kind of hit that. Or maybe Sherman jumped because we had 7 service lines that had to be repaired and now we have all these cuts in the road. So that's jumped level. So it's hard for us to know year out, but if we can kind of go look at that street and then say, here's curb and like identify where we need to do curb and gutter and include that in our bid. And the way we bid streets out, but at least since I've been here, I'm not sure exactly if we did it before, is we bid out the streets that we want as individuals, so they have to bid each of them and then they give the total cost. And we specifically tell the contractors, like, we're gonna do as much as we can with our budget. But if we get the bid for these 3 streets and we can only afford to do 2 of them, we're gonna try to do whichever 2 we can and we might cut the 3rd one.
So at that time, is when we would make the assessment if we needed to do curb and gutter or
Yes.
anything else at that time, which could then run us down to 1 street. Okay.
Due to budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus like the sidewalk get built too, you know.
Right, so then we have to weigh, do we wanna fix this curb and gutter, or do we wanna do 3 streets, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm making up a lot of.
That makes sense.
Because it sounds like so far, and I kind of remembering from last year when we did this. This better?
Much.
Make sure you visit the table. It's Max over there. That we've got multiple variables happening all at the same time that may or may not come into play.
Yes.
Okay.
That was something that was asked, I remember one other time, when you're like, I'd love to be able to, we asked you to prioritize the streets or talk about where to go. Ideally, you say that, but you can't be ready.
And we do, like, we go through and we do phaser rating.
Right.
On all of our streets, but we also factor in, does it need water main, does it need sewer main? Because I don't think we should go rebuild the road. And then 3 years later, be like, oh, we're gonna go replace the water main because we just did that. So we're gonna probably crack fill that, keep that road to like hold up until we can do the water line.
So we're looking at our goals in a, as the word, changing the wording, but at the same time, keeping in mind that all of this could change based on whatever happens. Okay.
So we had a water main break in an area that was not set up for us to go to, that could affect that as well, correct? Yes.
Absolutely. If much like Danielle said before, you know, I think since I've been on, we milled and we gave white gas there, whatever there. Also, I think we've probably done that 2 or 3 times. And that's the one time that we've resurfaced just consistent with substance to action level or just this, I don't know what it is, I think about the value. Much faster and more from. Yeah, we just do it all on the plane up. We'll stick on the process. Everything. Yeah. Hydrant. Hydrant. Water.
You got 3, Mike?
Yeah, still, sorry.
So 3 is complete water distribution service, lead service replacement.
And we're down to one about.
Yeah,
Water lines.
I don't know From high school and
Start out with. I know, I was gonna say that's, we're making progress,
I don't even know what our, at least, we are slow, we are behind.
but it's still progress.
That's from an Eagle report. But is that where we're drawing that information as far as whether we're behind or ahead? Right on the
So we're behind, but yes, it is from the, it's actually a federal law, I mean, it's a nationwide, it's not just the state. That is running into this, we're supposed to do 5% a year. I think of our, I think that's right. Either way, we're falling short a little bit, but, and we're gonna be okay. We've got a plan in place. That's been part of the holdup is we've been trying to look at our streets. 'Cause again, these are all so interconnected and trying that we don't want to go down a street that's just been done. Or if we can go, like, we know we have a lot on South Monroe, so let's go replace the services. Let's maybe try to partner with the sewer main replacement, because the water's, or the water replacement, because the sewer's good, and then just reconstruct the road, but pulling the financing for all of that together is.
Budget time, we did well on that, but we did budget for it, and we were saying 20 to 25 a year. And 5 to 10,000, so we've really funded properly, again, it's too slow, and less than bad to stay on how we pay for it.
They did allocate funding, to that service line replacement only through grant, or I'm sorry, only through loans. Which we
And
did,
that in the grant.
we didn't qualify for the loan, so we're gonna be talking about that a little bit. But absolutely, I would keep the lead service grant line. You were working on, but none of that, I could keep it there. And then if you wanna add something about hydrants, we have been doing some hydrant replacements. We've been just doing it like as we have an issue as of right now, or when we do a main replacement, we replace or add and or add. So like when we did the main
Right.
of the river and down there, we added hydrants.
I like it on there.
I don't like them being that, and again, putting in this another stupid ad, fire back on fire, again, it's gonna help with our insurance, it's gonna help just with our planning and things like that, and nobody wants to see a dead hire, nobody wants to see a bag.
Well, I think if you put it on there, Mike, then it keeps it in the forefront versus in the background. You know what I'm saying? We'll revisit it next year and say, hey, what's our status now?
I think we have a lot.
No, no,
I
no,
think we're about.
right.
Well, I don't want work that more. But again, we're doing good on just.
You guys have an idea for a priority on that? 1 through 5?
2. I just put it out there for discussion.
Yeah, I'll draft it for you, you can make changes. Okay, and then kind of combined with 1, 2, and 3, you've got a complete combined water, sewer, and street infrastructure projects. And again, I think that stemmed from us previously talking about interest money that's in it.
How many more do we have? Guess we're all separate, right? Do we have support for streets that are combined sewer and storm or sanitary storm or?
No, this is talking about like doing a water main with the street.
Right.
Yeah, we want the combined system.
So then maybe we should get, okay, let's start prioritizing what street. Again, we haven't done like a whole redraw. Right, let's better, I think that's. 20 years, so it's probably, I think that. And money's ugly, but. Let's start playing it out. What's our big project? Is it work with charity? Is it North Main or the road? You know, much that we talked about, is it? Or something, I mean, it's out there, what is it, planning for a big reason, that early, we haven't talked about.
But we also need to say. It's gonna be, that's our, honestly, it's probably.
Maybe
gonna have
that's
to be
what,
our
maybe that's
next.
what it is, maybe we said. so.
That's what I think we need, we're gonna have to do, that would be my. But we can talk
Why,
about
why
that.
do you say 223? What's it?
So MDOT is looking at reconstructing 223, which they fund, but we we need to, it would be smarter for us to partner with them on the infrastructure and do it all as a whole. It would save us a substantial amount of money. So when they come through their contract, they'll contract out to do all the service lines, the water main, the sewer, all of it. They will fund, the road reconstruction. They will fund the water main. None of the, no, I'm done, sewer main. None of the water, or a portion of the water main and none of the service lines. So
Certain lines referring to the lead service.
So
Gotcha.
all of 223 is, I think, almost all of it is left. So almost all of them, we would just, I think we're gonna have to replace all.
Now, if I'm remembering
And
correctly,
then we need
that would be done like.
So they're hoping to get funding in 2030. Which is a little bit out, but it's, I mean, we're talking. If our price comes at less than 5 million, I'd be shocked. I could be right. I think it could be more. I don't think it's gonna be less.
Find out why they didn't go down one lane way. And then on the lane that we're talking about.
Well, that's actually completely, well, it's not completely, but they're wanting to do that throughout, I think, the whole project. Still in scope, so nothing is.
That's not what I think you would.
No, we're just talking, so I think our next meeting is in June. And they will prepare some cost estimates for us and we can more intelligently talk about.
Would we have to agree to that or they're just going to?
They will just do, I mean, they want us to be partners and they like us to all be on the same page. But ultimately, it is their decision.
He's still talking about the road guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just go back to what's the,
So they don't drive it every day.
yeah.
I know that's everybody.
Let's just put roundabouts at the or labor.
Something roundabouts are terrible. You know,
Not too late.
Or.
Right there, we right here, right there. Right.
Well, people don't know how to use.
Exactly.
Well, can we put that in there then, and let's really focus on 223, like what, again?
Just so that it stays, yes.
Yeah, and the forefront, yeah.
Well,
It
It wouldn't be bad to maybe start putting some money away
Yeah.
and potentially.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, with it being, you said 2038, we'll always have that in front of us too.
Yeah.
And we're gonna follow.
I think it's already been a year. I mean, the year has already since the first.
Yeah, it's
discussion, yeah.
set aside a little bit.
So it doesn't take long.
All right, number 4, or objective 4, complete additional wastewater treatment plant improvements. This is a priority 1.
How are we doing? I feel like we're moving along in that direction from some of the purchases that have been capital improvements.
Yes,
Is that what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I feel like we're making progress on that.
I think you guys have made some really good progress, especially we recently for the MCC and the roaders.
Right.
I would leave this. We still have some additional improvements. I would lower the priority because I think we've completed the critical items. We've built in the other items into our capital improvements. And so I think now it's gonna be a matter of funding and just making sure they don't become critical again. And that we maintain. But again, I believe that it is. I don't know what you're thinking, priority here.
But it includes like new lab buildings and like, that's.
Yeah.
That's another application. So, yeah, again,
There's quite a few things.
we're kind of getting a feel for it now that's been running a year or two right now. We know. I think Steve should. Hours on. What we currently need. We can do funds, but yeah, let's get the planning process.
Stepping in for the objective forward to major priority for school report.
I don't see it funding the lab and consider the money from the law.
Even been very kind to say that in reality, you know, that there are things that are more important. Would you agree with that? I'm for the.
Objective 5, complete water treatment plant improvements. This is a priority 2, and then kind of specifically under that sludge building is a priority 1. So you guys have also, I think that's pretty involved with the water treatment plant improvements. I again would keep it, I think it's important that our plants and we don't have a repeat of the wastewater, but I think you could probably lower that priority. And then the sludge buildings, we got that study, we just. It's really what that comes down to. Well, I don't know if you would keep that as a priority. We'll keep money in the budget or.
We bet pretty money, remind us, staying there for the flood building. Is that something that you're looking for? Look at next year's 27th budget that you're considering that?
I would honestly want to talk to Nora more specifically, but I'm inclined to think that's not probably our biggest priority. We're on track.
Well, it's like something's not
I suppose it's.
So should that priority go down to 2, then you think after the sludge building?
For me, it was a priority because, what we invested in that to try to mitigate some of the issues that were going on in the wastewater treatment plant. So again, if it's part before the worst sort of thing, having the sludge building in operation made us more efficient at the wastewater treatment plant. So it's kind of like, are we treating there? Are we treating here? Pre-treatment here? Again, I would like to find a solution to say, it's going to help us in our wastewater plant. It's going to help with our piping. We don't know how old that stuff is. So anything we get out of the water now, rather than send it to the wastewater treatment plant, I think it makes us more efficient. But again, like anything else, how much is it going to cost? Like, get that sent from John to the school crossing or whatever. So
I don't remember that. I know Nora shared that with you guys. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm not saying remove it.
No.
I agree. Like, so probably just lower the priority. Okay. For both. It's a.
I would definitely flip them because the improvements, again, as old as that thing is, nickel and dime this already, weird gates and blah, blah, blah. What our fees or whatever, we've replaced how many times over these past couple of years. So, yeah, right.
So your suggestion is to, the water treatment plant improvements, make that a 1 and the sludge building 2. Which one?
I think we just have to, just because, again, in order to bring us, every single budget here, it's list of items and things that need to replace, whether it's a tank or literally wear and tear.
I will do whatever you guys want. I would recommend you leave it at a 2 and you change the sludge to a 3. And the reason I say that is that plant is old, but when you're looking at our infrastructure and our community as a whole, the plant is not. It's really young. It's one of the newer things we have. Our waves are 100 years old. And when you're talking about water mains and the water treatment plant, it's the same fund. So we've got to balance those needs. And I think right now our infrastructure is a higher need. Now, that being said, we need to continue maintaining the plant and taking care of it. But we are going to have to do that whether it's brand new or whether it's 40 years old.
By the last time, it's about 400,000 or something just this year. So,
Well, you guys have been, Nora is phenomenal in her budget. I hope that he does such a good job and she's such a good advocate for her plant. And I think that that has really served her well.
It has.
Helps to take care of those things. And I want her to keep doing those things because I love it. It makes my job way easier. But we do need to focus on mains and 100-year-old hydrant.
I would. Your recommendation.
Would this be the time to add the reverse osmosis possibility, or is that still kind of at the dream stage? Or is, I guess this is something that becomes.
And add that.
Like another bullet point.
Yep.
This is where I would add it, yes, and I do think that we either need to repair our nitrogen system, or we need to go down. And what I'm hearing from the engineers, or in my understanding, that our system would possibly be better and would potentially help us with like emerging contaminants and some other things that aren't regulated right now, but that may be. So I think it sounds like that's a more expensive option, but it might be the better. one.
We'll just put it as a second bullet.
Yeah.
And then make that a priority, 2 or 3, or whatever. Seems to make sense. The road is still not gonna buy it now. Something that we'd have to put money aside for, or take out one. I think Nora's report was one, 2 to 3 million. I don't remember. But that would. Return on investment of that is there would be a lot of chemical and some procedures that we would not have to have. So it might actually bring that 2 to 3 million down to maybe 1 to 2. Over the course of this. I think that here's the quality.
Water. Objective 6 is to implement the comprehensive sidewalk improvement program and eliminate obsolete curb cuts as identified within the master plan, and this is a priority.
I say leave it at the 4.
Objective 7, upgrade DPW facility or alternatively acquire property and move facility to a new location. More specifically, review options, moving to new site or adding alternate site priority 2.
Back on number 6 real quick, we really have not much discussion over here, so if we. Fortunately, someone's getting reelected or whatever when we're here, and we're at the same point, that's priority one, we haven't talked about it.
I think that, I guess, I know I think we spent some time on it, I recall last year, 'cause that's when I was talking about some of that out there, in particular where I am. Okay, extending it, that kind of stuff. I guess it's great, but when I take a look at what other things need to be done, that's why I'm still staying with the priority 4. I mean, oh no, I would love for there to be something out there because it's not safe. It is simply not safe.
So you guys
but-
did approve the sidewalk replacement policy this year, which was partially stemmed from this and partially some risk management. So that's since the community that's being sued for sidewalk right now.
They are.
For the lack of.
Why don't you share that? What do you mean by that?
If we're not replacing,
Maintaining, replacing?
maintaining,
Well, we
So
can
you
do
guys-
here and replacing.
and we have been maintaining. What we have not done is the infill.
We can like infill.
So like where there's gaps,
Like
like going down
they were
Workman
talking,
Road,
right.
there, you walk down the sidewalk and then there's not, and then
Yeah.
there is, and then you get out to yours, there's
Well,
nothing in
yeah.
the subdivision. So we've not, done areas that are missing, I call it infill, maybe that's not the
Okay.
right word, but we've not done any of that, we've just focused on maintaining the sidewalks that are on the.
But we put money aside for it.
We budget every year to take care of what we have, and we typically have a little bit, like, we budgeted extra this year for infill.
Right.
We did go through and identify where we need
Where
infill,
that-
and brought in a couple of residents help with that. I think the challenge is going to be that a lot of people don't want that.
The one sidewalk,
Yeah. So
they don't want them, put them out there by the fire.
then we need to,
Seriously, yeah, they don't want them, we'll take them.
well, we just need to have a plan in place for how we're gonna address that to be consistent
I'm just being.
across the forward and.
Because I think smart aleck community in the.
Because what I don't want to do is we go out to your subdivision plan and
Yeah.
we go through and every 4th house, they're like, well, I don't want a sidewalk. Or
Well, I don't see it in our
But now we're just creating more.
No, we don't want any subdivision, I just want to get us to the subdivision. And I say that because along the Monroe Street / Blissfield Highway, and that's the busyness of it. That's where I'm staying, I'm not saying into the subdivision, I'm just saying subdivision is my opinion, it's not the issue, it's the Blissfield Highway, North Monroe Street, that's the issue. In particular, it switches then the corner, the straightaways. Bad enough, it's a corner when you gotta get over there, and I don't know what these things.
Yeah, and I have some concern
Yeah.
about some of that, so,
Yeah.
There's the property,
There's the farm property.
well, look, there's that. Where Brandon lives,
Oh, yes,
you say it's like.
yes.
Osmotic or whatever.
Yes, 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 yes.
So he's got beautiful landscaping.
I know he does.
You'd have to tear that up. There's also like a little bit of a ditch there.
Oh, that whole thing's got a ditch.
So we would have to actually engineer that because
Yes.
we can't just go slap the sidewalk down.
No, there's a lot of engineering in that. Believe
Yeah,
me,
there's
as I've walked it, I know.
dollars.
There's serious dollars out there, yeah.
It's,
That's why I was wondering if the other side could be used for the sidewalks, but that's township. Because that's gonna be, and that's where that has, there is more level spots on that side, you have to go down, but there's level. Whereas on the,
yeah, I think
West
we
side-
talked about.
on the
this
west side of the road, no, there's
This is-
serious, no, it's,
Every time I drive in that way, because I change my route up, I'm like, oh my God, we can't hurry a second.
I know. It's expensive,
I seriously, every time I look at it.
I know.
So I love the idea of it, that my biggest challenge with this or concern is just the budget.
Certainly.
I mean, we did that one section. It's way more than we budgeted and it's. I don't know.
Well, that's great that up, but development wise, should have been put in when them homes were constructed.
Well,
Ordinance wise.
yep, I mean, but look, like Kingsbury Court never had sidewalks added, the entire, what's the subdivision off of. North Lane, like Woodmont,
Yeah,
those don't have sidewalks.
But again, you gotta start somewhere, so we
Oh,
we're gonna stick
you
on
can't
that, even if there's.
Moving forward, yeah,
But we've had quite a bit of actually more houses than people realize built to have stuck to those ordinances and those rules that. After completion, even if there's a gap between that, I think that's an ordinance that once that property becomes occupied, it's supposed to be in part of that development.
so. I actually is in the ordinance that when it's subdivided, that it'll be in there, or there'll be bonding for it to be done later. It doesn't say anything.
That's those three houses right there on.
But once they're developed, it's when it was subdivided, not when it's constructed, is how our ordinance is right now.
You're talking about the west side.
Yes. Well, I mean, we're putting money towards infill, we're definitely doing the improvements. I mean, if we want to move it to a priority 3 to make it feel good, Mike, we can do that.
I just don't want it to sit and not be focused on for another, you know.
I don't,
Nothing, but
I don't know,
see something.
I don't know how much more we can do. So that's why I'm just saying we could have support. Be realistic.
So again, I think the challenge is budget.
Yeah,
And I feel like we have talked about.
But we haven't done anything to
So we have that.
do it. actually.
For infill, for infill. But the other parts have been done.
Yeah, we can maintain. I mean, you get the job. We do a good job. So back to seven, that this was the DPW facility or, right, fire, crime location. Alright. Objective 8, we have complete park maintenance and planned park improvements. The following improvements are listed priority from highest to lowest. Also, this isn't fully inclusive. We last year listed kind of your top projects. So we have to replace or repair the dugouts at Harbor Field, dugouts at Bachmeyer Little League Park, the old pool house building rehabilitation, tennis courts, Harbor Field parking lot resurface, the skate park replacements.
So where are we with Farmer Field? You might just say now we can put money towards these, but they're not for the dugouts. For both of the farm and back.
So Barber, we do have a little bit of money that we budgeted for. And then Bachmeyer, we have the trust money that a portion of that is for the dugouts. It's for a couple different things, but I want to say it was like 10,000 for the dugouts.
We got a good connection now, I can.
Yeah, we really need to work with Little League. I think on this project and
And I agree, I mean, I've said it before, but
Yeah.
I think through volunteer work and maybe reaching out to Lowe's or Home Depot or, you know, or something, to have them donate some building supplies. My opinion, and I don't have a lot of facts to base this thing on. But it's not gonna be an expensive project. It's just gonna take time. And
Yeah,
manpower, yes, I know.
So are you saying, be built by volunteers as opposed to that having contracts?
I mean, that's.
and instead of doing like do some repairs.
Right.
That's, we've done that in the past and it was successful. The challenge is they had a lot of turnover. I had talked to the president before, and when I initially talked to him, he was very ready to go, and then they were also gonna volunteer to help paint the building. So I don't know internally what happened. Had a couple years where it wasn't as ready to do the project, and then they had complete change, which is really why nothing has happened. So we've just continued to roll those funds over. So I think that's, again, it's just gonna be a matter of coordinating, we're getting some manpower.
So what kind of feel do you have with people that are there?
The board, we currently have in place for seven, this. They're very, not sure what word to use, naive, not home. Maybe both. So, I don't think it'd be a myself to get them to, put some background into it. And I think people like Mason, who's been involved in that, and Eric Rogers, and, you know, I got kids that have backhoes and, front loaders, or front end loaders, and I'm sure that it's not gonna be that big of a deal. Coordinate, you know, get a date, line up bodies and line up materials, and basically just put a plan together and make it happen.
Do we have, maybe the whole meeting, I'm just saying down the road that we can go ahead and have, Little League come in and have that discussion with council and let, you know, they can tell you before and have anything on it, or?
We could, I've got a meeting, I think it's February 2nd, first Monday in February. I'll certainly present this down and tell them what's going on. We have a lot of parents that are all.
They're gonna be like that.
I think it'd be very easy to enlist their own as well.
I don't even know that you need a committee. I mean, we have the money, I think if we're sticking with the same design and layout and we're just doing repairs, I think I could coordinate purchasing the supplies, and if you have, like, it would be great to have somebody that does construction that can maybe be the lead and be like, this is what we need, and kind of helps direct to the volunteers, but you know, I think we're ready to go once we have that plan in place. I don't know that you can certainly volunteer and help. I'm sure they would love that, but I think we could probably just move forward. If we get, I think the big thing is, Bill, if you could get a 20%, sure. That's, yeah, be the that really knows what you guys are looking for.
Are you talking about both fields, or are you talking about?
That it is both fields.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't make sense to people.
Yeah.
I think if we have the funds, the volunteers, let's get it done, get it up.
Yeah, I agree. Old schoolhouse building rehabilitation, so we've just kind of been doing a little bit at a time internally with this, again, because of budget constraints, so. I don't know if you guys have been in there recently.
I've never.
Okay, let me know sometime, I'll take you down if I can get down there.
I would like to go like, what? What's the low one?
Yeah, it's not heated, so definitely want it to be nicer, but anybody, if you want, I can take you down there anytime, just let me know, but. When you walked in, I don't know if you guys have been in all, but it was locker rooms and there was the brick walls that kind of separated everything and divided it. That none of them were bearing, in fact, nothing was even, none of the beams or anything with presses were sitting on them. So DPW knocked those down, so you have to like kind of weave in and out to carry stuff in and out of the building. So they knocked all that down. We do store some things in there, but it's, I mean, we have a decent amount of space.
That location, exactly, one time, but it was still being used for the pool.
Okay.
And then I walked down there before the pool was in.
Yeah, I would like the priority, move up a little bit, and I, not necessarily the refund portion of it, maybe the, well, yeah, the refund, but the facade thing.
So that's DPW is they, I was being picky. So we've got those metal grate that are in like the windows, so they're actually changing those out and they're redoing the siding on the peak. Okay, then it's brick below. And then we're replacing, there's some, on the front side, some fascia that's coming down and some of the. Like eve, those
There's bathrooms in there.
there are bathrooms.
And those would be-
They are used, yes. And yeah, we budgeted money to paint those bathrooms.
Right.
Again. We are doing some facade improvements as well. And softball league, who's kind of tied with Little League, has offered to help if there's something to, because they do use those bathrooms a lot during their games.
But I think that would be something too for Parks and Rec, that would be something, a community day kind of thing, that can be done. Another discussion about painting it, whatever, so.
Yeah, that would be painting the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll agree.
So that's where I would like to go ahead and pop that up to a 4. Because I think that we are seeing some movement on there. If you guys are, I'm good with that.
What was the plan for that? I mean, when they started talking about renovating that building, I thought there was a planned usage for that building.
Well,
Has it changed?
there's like our, dreams and wishes.
Yes.
fund.
Yes.
Once in the.
Is that it be a multi-use facility, so. I mean, like, we would like to be able to. Rent the space out or to use it for like a painting class, or
I think
there's just a lot of different things, but it would be a mixed use space. We talked about the door kind of rolls up now and then you have like a little stage area, you could do music in the park, event, so that.
What about the ball teams have like?
Yeah,
Already.
because we were thinking it would be kind of an open space and there might be like a kitchen counter and a little kitchenette area. And then you could kind of do some different things. We could use it for our parks and rec programs and
that's how I
try to offer some different things.
Well, I know that
I could rent it out or.
I've had a couple residents ask about, why don't they put specialty, and I've said that to you a couple times. When there's ball games going on. I don't know how long ball games are going on there. I know that there's cars there during summer. I don't know. And maybe the leagues.
So that's kind of our like long term. Right now, we're just using it for sort of because we. Or pitch everywhere. It's terrible. So for tennis courts. Barber Field Skate Park, do we wanna leave those just kind of.
Should the tennis courts be, is there something somewhere around here, Danielle, and I looked, I can't recall, the, well,
I can do a slash pick.
there we go. Yeah, that's what I was looking for, yeah.
And those are out of the school, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we put a priority on that, because. I really wanna. Get off the pot. on that.
Priority 2. You cool with that?
I'm budgeting that. So it's kind of ongoing. Same money.
Yes.
Skate park replacements, you're not gonna want to hear what I say on this one.
So say.
I will. X it right out there. Get rid of them.
Sometimes I agree with that, but it's when it's warmer weather and I right there, I see kids using it. And I'm always surprised they're still kids using it.
I think it can be utilized for something better than skate park. I don't know what it is, I don't think the equipment is, we have discussed this. It's, I don't wanna say it's a liability, because that gives a negative connotation, but it's not,
Kind of is.
it's not skateboard stuff. That's,
What are you suggesting? You change from wood to cement?
I'm suggesting,
Yeah, I know you said.
put a line right through there.
Right out.
That's exactly right, and take the fence out, put some basketball courts, shuffleboards, I have no. I just don't think that skate parking, to do it well, we don't have the monies to do it well. And that's why I would rather us not put any money into it, when stuff's done, it's done and we don't replace it. That's where I am with that.
So it's we're in there. We moved on the business lobby.
What sucks is,
I think it was.
it's used quite a bit,
It is.
but it's very, it's certainly not set up height wise.
And maybe that's a better way to say it, it's, I do, I hope I agree with that. We had that discussion, it's the
Yeah,
way,
I think it was for like BMX biking. Yeah, and then because we bought that stuff used from another community. Like branches.
I feel like it's been there a long time.
In the skate park when we did the tennis courts to the school.
wow. That'd be 2010-ish. Okay, there we go. That's just my opinion, you guys. That's the worst. No number. Let it go.
I did go through this community that had a really cool skate park and it was not anything elaborate. It would not work in that location. But they worked with a local contractor in one of their parks and they had actually moved, did some excavating on the ground to build up, use dirt and grass. It was what happened. They regraded it and then used concrete to make like the ramp on one side or over the grass mound, but it was just grass or dirt below it.
And this is for like bicycles.
No, this was for skate parking. And they just had an area that was concrete over this excavated or graded to how they wanted
And
to
maybe
ramp to be. And none of them were, I mean, none of them were massive ramps or anything. They had a couple of ramps. They had one that kind of, I don't know what they're called, but you like curve
Like a
around
bowl.
it, yeah. At the end, and then you came back over.
Makes sense
it.
of both.
The rails.
I think there was a, yeah, they had one
Stairs.
rail in here.
Right, which,
And it was very nice.
which would be up to date. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. It's outdated.
That's a great location for it, like a lot on the concrete skate park and compares in the spring, you close it off and you're right back to this. I don't want to take everything out of the park if it was flats or whatever.
So we put in a big old tree.
Well, I don't think that's a bad location, but I think what I'm saying, I don't think would work in that spot. So
That's, and that's just where and again, maybe and we discussed it, maybe that's the better way to say this, is just we don't replace the wood stuff. And we put money towards better stuff for another location, upgrade, maybe that's a better word for it.
I gave you guys that cost for replacing.
1,000.
Yeah, it was 300.
Yeah, yeah. Crazy.
You could do it almost do a concrete one for that. There's things,
Well, even like that thing that Danielle's talking about. That would be the 300,000, you know what I'm saying, Danielle? The dirt and the concrete there, I don't know.
It's all set.
And flooding, that's the problem.
couldn't take anything out of it.
Couldn't handle flooding.
You're not changing, you're not infilling if you're literally taking from 10 feet away. It's not like you're changing floodway.
But when it floods, does it move that earth that's supporting the concrete? I think that was my concern, maybe it doesn't, I don't know.
Yeah.
That would,
We typically don't, when it floods, it floods pretty much every year. But how much it floods is the issue. And being the flats, that floods every, sometimes it makes its way up the drive to Methodist Church.
Yeah.
Coming up. Oh,
Part of the buildings are still there, you know what I mean? It's not like it's brushed out or anything.
You're right. Just do anything.
we felt that we get something scaled out. What we're replacing is to replace with something similar, like maybe we just say
So
we just want ramps or things that are gonna be a
Yes.
quarter of the size that we quoted.
It's only last 20 years on.
Well, it's still gonna have the same lifetime, it's just gonna be a much smaller ramp than what's down there now.
But a concrete one's one is done. Done, and it's built to standards and it's not so hot about it.
Or maybe you think the word landscape for replace and just, put a number to it. 5.
We could also,
I-
we could also amend it to say explore options, and then we can bring forward that.
I like that.
Proposal or remove it as one of the
Okay.
options.
All right, I like that. Yes. That would be a.
I like that.
Okay. Um,
Objective 9
That's
is,
on number 8, but hear me out. So again, like master plan, we said parks are a master plan, right? But also, again, for me, what do we want? You know, what are the locations?
Okay.
The amenities, you know, rather than just like, okay, we got $25,000 per skate or per dog park block, you know, literally we're done. Okay, so more so,
Well, that's a good
we
point.
want this at this water, or we want to get the water out there, but we want it at school, we want it in this park, you know, it'd be more of a long-term plan to say. This is where the stuff
Think about that. That's a really, that's a good point, right? Why don't we, take a look at Parks and Rec? This is obviously a fluid document. We can go ahead and we can see what more we're looking at. Let's do that. Are you cool? Are you comfortable with that?
Does that make sense? Because, you know, I don't like to just hodgepodge throw stuff in. Let's do a long-term plan. But that to me is organize it. Yeah, it's a
So-
master plan and say. This goes here or this goes here.
Are we looking to possibly add more to the aquatic area? Would it make more sense that it would be recreational?
Well,
That would be part of the works and revenues.
and it,
Which.
But-
Which,
So what, let me ask this, is the Parks and Rec master plan separate from these things that we have here on our list? As far as objective number 8,
it is separate, but they
they
have,
work together.
yeah, they are, your items are also their items. They have additional things, and they have smaller scaled items.
and maybe that's where we can,
So I made a note
Really throw a monkey wrench into something.
that we say would like to coordinate with Parks and Recreation Board to amend
Yes.
plan to determine layouts of parks. So
yes,
I think it could be a goal that you guys, we can kind of jointly coordinate together.
yes, to clear that up, to clarify it. Yes, I like that.
And potentially we may need to make, we need to review that plan anyway and make amendments.
And maybe then we go ahead and keep the park maintenance and go. Really get the bullets crazy there, meaning this part, what you want in this part, this part, what you want in this part, that's what you're. I hear you, okay,
And I think it'd be easier for both sides.
absolutely,
Yes, and I think that's where the, maybe I don't spend more. It's some part right before off, but that's what I'm alluding. to.
yes, you did better.
Every, I didn't need to, but everything that they do as a board or as a committee, they don't understand that part of the big picture. So I mean, they're wasting a bunch of time to even accomplish this, but we as a council know that we can afford to do that. You know, what I mean, that long-term plan, I think is more efficient.
But then they can also see, they can see your vision. And. Mesh it together and see how it all works together.
And as a council member, I knew exactly what you were talking about. I mean, I knew where you were going with it. But with them just being parks, I think it was hard for them to understand. Or not really understand, but
You're.
The focus, yes,
On your own
yes,
elements.
yes.
Yeah. I like that.
And run with it or just drop it. Maybe that's, this is the place for it. Should there be a greater line of separation between what we do for Parks and Rec and Parks and Rec? In other words, should we as council village just be involved in the fields, in the parks themselves? Here's the space, Parks and Rec, gotta figure out what you want to put in there. And it doesn't matter to us what you put in there. We provide the real estate. You handle everything else, rather than us trying to
No, I would like that. I think that they go ahead, the advisory board can make me buy it, and then the buck stops with them. Yeah, I agree, I agree with that. Yeah. It's our practical.
Which is why, again, I prefer the Lyle approach of when we're creating a village master plan. We get all of these subcommittees, of course, and I would say, this is what they want to accomplish, bring it with us. We piece it together, and then we then.
Would that also, will that also include things like, when we've been talking about pickleball, like having friends of the pickleball? Like we've asked people who are not on Parks and Rec to get information for and for council as well. So are we, like, how would we work? Maybe we don't know, but how would we work that with different groups that want to have certain things? Like, it's like Rotary. Rotary works with us with our Parks and Rec. But at the same time, I mean, I know that they check in to see what it is we would want. But they have to be considered friends of, or the friends of others. So my ultimate goal is to ask the question, is there anything that we can remove from our budget to hand off to another entity like Little League does? And then we don't have to worry about that. We're making sure that everything.
I don't think this time that's the reality for Parks and Rec. I think that that's something that. I don't want to go into the meeting, that's it. We're gonna have our meeting tomorrow, good ideas, there'll be good proposals, we can meet to council next week about it. I'm gonna hope that council, my perspective, will roll with it. I think once we get some good bearing and we get a really nice foundation, then I think we go to that next step. We're not there, haven't been there for a long while. But we're not in that step.
That's fair, and I know that our size of population, not just amount of space that we have, real estate that we
Right.
actually have as a village. Our revenues.
Right.
We're kind of stuck in what times.
Right.
But I also don't want us to not ask the questions.
No,
And just make sure that we know why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And say, okay, we've looked at this process and system, and for the time being, this is the best that we can do.
Would you agree, right? That they're getting everything, okay.
Yeah.
That's
If
works.
we were Detroit or Chicago right now, but you're right, we would never get out of these meetings because we have to pass some of those decisions on it. Personally, I hold a lot of stake in this, and again, I'm not trying to be a micromanager or control freak, but I think we're small enough that we can have our hands in a lot of these spots for the overall vision and mission of what we're trying to accomplish.
Sure. It is, but at the same time, all I'm saying, at the same time, we have to question ourselves against doing just that, micromanaging and having our hands into everything.
But there has to be that,
No, I get it.
No,
All I'm saying is maybe our process might need to be changed or tweaked a bit so that it gives responsibility to others rather than just them coming to the table and saying, we want this, we want this, we want this. And then we're like, well, oh, yes. Oh, that isn't them. But they have skin in the game as well on it.
But until something goes wrong, then we're playing games.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? So again, I like the process of following the chain of command.
we're gonna get there. Parks and Rec will get there.
Good direction. Great. Objective 9 is complete necessary repairs to the pedestrian bridges over the River Raisin. Steel truss bridge solutions, arch bridge preventative maintenance. Next year, we're gonna be asking to do some staining on the arch bridge again. We have been doing maintenance. We're getting our inspections. We've actually worked on them last week. So,
That's year, this year, we're seeing like spring.
no, 28, yes.
What? We replaced those boards last year.
Yes.
We're like a year of them saving that stuff.
That's what they recommended us to do. They said it's actually will hold up better. Season they did, yeah, that was their recommendation to us. That's why we did that. But otherwise, the steel truss, I kind of paused on that because we've been talking about who maybe wanting to work with us in the pedestrian portion on their bridge. Like separate from driving, so I'm kind of waiting to see with the scoping and everything that happens with that.
That's 10 years, so, I mean, you've got to be. Either it goes away or something.
Well, if they do that, we're gonna have to pay her a bit, but again, I'll share the inspection report and we'll find out.
So that bridge can't just be blocked off at some point where there's no access to it all till.
The public would.
We-
Crucify us in that.
I want down to the arch.
If we'll close the bridge and sand there. I don't think that would vote on.
Well, I mean, we've already got a sign on it that says no more than 10 people are.
And if it unsafe and it costs,
It needs to go.
right, but it also costs a lot of money, residents want to put up someone to get rid of the bridge.
Well, let's see what the inspection report says and see if we've had some changes since the last one. We can go from there, but I would keep these folks on. Yeah, they're the way.
And the reason why I say that, because it's closed during. Nobody is allowed to use that bridge. Like for fireworks and stuff. So it's already being closed and not being able to use because.
Can't stand that.
Sorry. Cause you're. So.
But we may have to barricade it, right? I don't know. You know, we're trying to sell an image and.
Make it.
Laura, I think Laura would probably lose her mind.
I'm pretty sure she- Future.
There you go. Yeah, all right. The objective tonight is aquatic center preventative maintenance, subsidize proactively budget future maintenance funds annually, which we did do this year. And we have, I think, done the maintenance and tried to take care of this, so we'll keep funding.
Social media, people are laying the scumsy. I think we need
Yes.
to,
What do you mean?
with their pool issue that. I think it
Here and down.
Yeah, bone pool is. They have bone pool, that's owned by the city, they're kind of a school as well. But bone pool is not your real, I mean, they're looking into building a new one or doing some splash pads throughout the community, but bone pool is your.
Over, what's the, yeah, no, it's not there.
Yeah.
Must be true.
Or ProMed is.
You know,
Depends there,
yes.
kind of like. cross-
So that's the.
River Snake Park.
Yeah, you have to, like, there's- In that part.
Yeah, you're right. I think it is just down the street from Riverside.
I have that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like the same.
Yeah.
It's like the same. It's like Sparkler Park and. Same driveway, like both of them. Yes.
I think there's quite a few people from see that the memberships that are.
We get quite a few from Tennessee, we get Eastern, we get friends. Quite a few from Sylvania.
Well,
We got-
yeah,
we got one-
brand new.
We had a family from Tennessee last year.
We continue our priority with one million go to it.
You could probably lower that, because I think we've been, yeah, so we're gonna be on the low end, yeah, I think that we think that's the way it might happen. So the next item is river erosion project to slow or stop erosion. We've got this at a priority one. You guys have funded through 6. This is on the agenda for Monday, but I would keep it, if you wanna, in priority level as well. Which I'm good with, because we're also doing 5% grant. Objective 12, complete necessary facility repairs, depot repairs, including roof and windows, porch deck boards. Porch deck boards actually. No, we didn't do it. I'm saying we did the 9 about like. we've got the roof, I'm getting quotes on that right now.
Great, like, what's there?
Yes, I am, but you're gonna see sticker shock tonight.
I don't know,
Boy Scout building repairs, including insulating the building, bathroom renovation. And we did budget for insulating the building this year, we got the bathroom renovation in next year's budget. However, I do wanna notate that we budgeted insulation with the hope that Boy Scouts would contribute maybe a portion of their reported credit. So I just need to work with them on that project. Any changes there?
Boy Scout building,
I want them to have.
how would you, that's the smart, how would you go? Talk about
Who's gonna wrap that lease?
the lease.
They've been dead for 50, I don't know, this is family, I don't know how to get out of it. So, of course, going probate, something, I don't know. I would break that.
Isn't that one coming? That was that one.
I think that was 20, something.
I know, I heard.
32 or something.
That's what I wanna say, it's 31.
Right, that's what we're at.
I don't. But these days, there is no zoning. So it have to be fully.
Well, maybe we have another meeting. Them and ask them what their thoughts are on that. The Boy Scout. the Boy Scout.
There's mutual agreement, so.
We have there's a lease. So that property was donated to the village. We used for the Boy Scouts. I think I've shared this before. I'll resend it to you guys, but it is with the Boy Scouts, and it was like a 99-year break. Lease that had no termination. We're coming, I want to say 2021. I'll pull it again.
Be broken if there's no payment left.
Well, it's to the Boy Scout Club and it's not like an individual that no longer. It's like to the term. Right, but. So. They can't over, there's no family members or.
Seven, but hard.
Yeah, because it, right, because the family donated it to the village with the condition that it be released to them, so we own it. And they lease it. Basically, I mean, we pay. They do help, but we pay the utilities and let them use it specifically, they want to. Nothing.
Exactly. And doesn't have to be usually.
It does, but the way that lease was written, because now, and there's no. Termination, so the only way to get out of that lease is if both the village, both parties have to agree. To either terminate or amend. Or you have to wait until the lease is over and then negotiate or say.
But did
We
we,
buy it or we're selling
we
it,
met with
whatever.
everybody was at September, October.
I think that was September.
So maybe we can 6 months have a revisit on that and see what their thoughts are. I don't know what the whole things look like, but
Yeah, so you guys did say that you had wanted to regroup with them. You had asked for, like a maintenance summary,
yes,
which Maddie helped me with, and those are actually done. Because of Maddie, I shouldn't say she helped me. I gave her a template. Maddie did that. So thank you, Maddie. But those are completed. Our many of those are, we're booked out right now through September. Okay, on many of those, but I mean, I can revisit them and see if we can. Fit some.
Yeah, we've got to be able to.
Uh,
And remove things as needed, some house.
I think that makes sense. That would be a nice revisit. Well, it's kind of like the revisit with
But I think
the
that's
baseball. Yeah, so we can revisit and then kind of come up with game things. Okay.
Objective 13 is to buy and sell property that aligns with our goals, ensuring the process is guided by informed decisions, specifically acquire the property in front of the aquatic center, which we're working on. and acquire the property adjacent to Clara Bachmeyer Park bordering the Carpenter Farm and property. I actually think we cleared that up.
Yeah.
Yep, so I think we can remove that,
Number two.
yes, yes, because we did.
It still would have been nice because we have excess, but we don't have fire.
But it's perpetual, we're okay forever. On that. And then I have a note to add the stormwater maintenance replacement, but that would end our objectives under goal one, unless you guys have any that you wanted to add. I think that's pretty expensive. Goal number 2, promote recruitment and retention of highly effective and talented staff. Objective 1 is to maintain the current administrator evaluation process while establishing clear and more defined goals. So you guys did really well with this last year. I think. Thank you.
I think you have a summary though, to help us keep the line too, with the same summary,
Oh, yeah,
because it has all those devils in there.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just see something.
yeah,
Sure
absolutely.
does.
Do we have any changes or additions?
Would there be anything that you would recommend as far as an addition there, Danielle? That we're not seeing?
Have you tweaked like your process with your staff, like kind of how evaluations, things like that? I mean,
Yeah.
that would be a.
So I did actually, I'm doing quarterly check-ins with the staff now.
You said, oh, that's right.
Instead of annual evaluations, so we did, it's just our first time doing this, but I loved it. Yeah, so one of the employees was like, this is dumb, and then at the end, they said, they're
You
like,
said that they liked it.
they did, they're like, okay, that's not what I thought it was gonna be, it wasn't that. And then another employee was, I think, a little bit apprehensive and unsure what to expect, and then afterwards was like, okay, this wasn't too bad. And then the rest of them were pretty good. So I think they were. It was just kind of funny to see how they responded, but overall they went really well. So I'm gonna keep doing that. I've asked all of them. I said, at least let's give this a shot for a year, and if after a year you say, Danielle, I hate this, we can talk about something different, but I said I want to give it a fair chance and
Excellent.
Should we change the wording in this then, since we've accomplished it? I mean, we obviously want to continue to promote recruitment and retention of high.
Right.
The talented staff,
Right.
but do we reword our objective here since we've accomplished
My
it?
objective request would be, continue to monitor or seek out wages, benefits, and training. Again, I think that provides our staff a talented and recruiting process the same. Bring in the best, but we're also going to keep by providing good
By
wages,
providing
good benefits, and keep our insurance costs down, just that's what they. I
And
would
want
provide.
to stay specific, ching.
Yeah, how do we continue to just keep that on the radar?
Mhm.
We can't afford to pay them the best, but if we can keep the insurance down, benefits, if they're happy, right, then we're just. Training, clear, great. I invest in center, not we want to.
absolutely. And we do.
Yeah.
Pretty well. Most of our staff goes to training.
You have written down for that in roughly.
Well, I'm just taking notes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I put continue to review wages, benefits, et cetera, to retain staff and then put training. Gotcha, but I'll make it sound.
No.
And yeah,
I appreciate it.
so, we can even rewrite the entire statement or eliminate that statement simply because this was so focused on the administrator. And we've already accomplished that. So,
Yes.
so how do we keep this inclusive, specific, yet not
Totally good straight.
we're correcting? But at the same time, don't want to hire hands.
I like it because we can look at this and Daniel can look at this back, but maybe I should read this part. you know, insurance plans or options or benefits, things like that.
Yeah.
You know, that way it doesn't fall.
It's, exactly, and you know, that seems to be what this is, obviously, that's what this is about. How do we keep these things on our radar as we're moving through the year?
Well, this is what's so awesome about this. Do you remember when we started doing this, Mike? Oh my God, it was so fun. This stuff was never done, guys. Seriously. I mean, I should say never done, let me just say. But you know how I was saying that, look at the top up there, okay? When she's got up here adopted by. This is, I mean.
Yeah.
That was fun.
You want one, Mike?
And this is what we really did. This was there, but not like that.
Not like we're doing.
Let's go. Nothing like this. This is transition. And it's giving us that focus because so many times when we go ahead and we need this, we need this, we need this. Where's it fall in our goals and our objectives? If it doesn't fall in that,
Accountability for all of us.
yes, it does. And that's what it's been so.
It's our memory.
Glorious, yeah.
This is our memory for what we want to do.
Up to this.
Budget.
So I just want to clarify, for objective one, are you maybe asking, instead of it being just the administrator, like overall, just that we maybe
Staff?
review or evaluate and amend as needed our evaluation process to ensure we're communicating, or you want it not to evaluation, just kind of in general, or?
Well, I don't see a problem including some specifics to help us, whatever helps us to remember and helps you to remember that this is what we are after to promote recruitment and retention of our staff. In as much as we are positive, we are able to do that. So I think Mike's conclusion of those specifics is helpful.
You kind of solve.
That's hard, right? Because we solved number one. We solved our objective. Now we need to change our objective or get rid of the goal. But I don't know that we want to get rid of the goal because we want to keep our eye on this.
We want to maintain.
Yes.
Goal change.
And improve it as we can. Yep.
Maintain,
High level.
Yeah, I'm about 90% happy with. Yeah, trust me.
Oh, that was so much better where
Yeah,
that was
again,
too.
we're
Yeah.
better be perfect, but a lot better than where we're at.
Anything else with that one before I move on? Goal 3 is to promote efficient and effective municipal operations and services. Objective 1 is to accomplish community goals and objectives without cutting services, i.e. 24/7, 365 policing, plowing, mosquito spraying, quality water, brush and leaf pickup, etc. And this is ongoing. And then consider additional services such as trash, which could be funded within 1.2. We did do that, so I actually think that could be moved to completed. I just missed that. And then objective 2 is to promote the services and accomplishments of the village ongoing.
What do you mean we solved the trash?
Right.
We still have, said, what, the 1.25 this year, resurfacing the pool. Right, what?
But you guys did decide on the trash, not to, what to do with the trash.
So we move on.
Yeah, so,
With a single paper.
right, yeah,
As far as the one.
yeah, I was just talking about trash.
As far as 1.25 mils, yeah, we can put it towards the pool this year, but I think in future years. We could hand that in a couple of ways. We could choose a major project. And like $250,000 towards that or whatever it might be. Or we can do a blend of a smaller project and a bunch of little ones. And there's some,
All of us taken care of.
yeah, and let the community see progress throughout time. We'll get wayfinding signs or stuff like that. It's not really expensive, but it's observable.
No, I don't. That was perfect.
No, wait, let's the wish list time.
That was perfect.
and
Oh.
I think when residents can see things happening. It's terrible.
I'm here, Danielle, with the objectives. Promoting the services and accomplishments of the village. I don't know if this is silly or not. I'd like the residents, because Mike, you have alluded to this before, and I think that it's important. I'd like the residents to recognize the cost of some of these things. So for example, let's just go with the mosquitoes. What does it cost every time we do a mosquito spray? You know what I'm saying? This is how much it costs for mosquito spray. This is how much it costs for the brush pickup. This is how much it costs for a snowstorm. This is what it costs to do the sidewalks that our guys,
And put it
Do it
somewhere
well.
where our residents can see it.
I would like that to be out there.
I think so.
Newsletter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a newsletter slash article in advance, I think that the advance is, more and more people are reading the advance. And I think that is, I think it's gonna be turning out to a real benefit for us. And I don't know if it can be a bi-weekly or something that we, a letter to Danielle or I know you put it in the, email, you know what I'm saying, through that, constant contact or whatever it is. But I think maybe something in the paper that we can look at that and say, okay, or a note from our administrator. There's another way to do that. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. But I do think we need to let our people know how much it does cost.
I like that. You know, our administrator, something to take advantage of.
And what the cost is.
What's the cost of doing that? No, for work.
Okay, I got that.
Okay, so I have another question about this. When you're ready, let me know. I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Does this prohibit us from looking at services that we currently do to possibly privatize them? Like we looked at the trash and decided we're gonna keep.
Oh, I think it does, and I think it should. I think we should look at all roads.
My question, does it prevent us?
I don't think it prevents.
Okay.
Because I
that's the
think
question.
what we're
Does it
saying
prevent us from
is
being
that-
at the goal?
We want to accomplish these. How we do that is up to us.
If it's more
determine.
efficient to do someone else than it is our own guys, or our own guys versus that, promote efficient, I think that we're good with that. Because that would mean that we're looking at the,
Right, okay, but it seems that the
Yes.
wording of the objective, if it's just me, then just tell me it's just you. But the objective, number one, the wording of objective number one, then seems to fight against the goal of goal number three. I mean, unless I'm missing something.
say that.
I don't think it's limiting it that it has to be in-house though. Cause we're just saying accomplish our goals and objectives without cutting services. We're not cutting the service if we contract it out. We're still providing it,
Okay.
just not directly.
I
It's just the way I'm reading.
That's how I read it.
Gotcha.
We just need to toot our horn a little bit better, much like we alluded to at many levels, right? You know, what our accomplishments. You know, we successfully repaired the, the rotary building. We're able to do that. We finally found a way to do it, found it the most cost effective for, and then also promote services, much like Gwen's alluded to, yeah, people are mad that we're not collecting, cut down 7 trees. Your front yard, up and you didn't grind them up. Well, by the time we take a dump truck and 2 men and a loader, that's $500, you know what I mean, for an hour.
No, I'm with it. I'm just asking if the wording, I just want to make sure that that our wording, that I'm reading the wording the way that it should be read. And if it's not, then, yeah, 'cause there's
I
something I'm
don't
seeing.
think there's anything in there that says that we couldn't explore privately or privatizing any of these services. Our accomplishment is a community goal objectives without cutting services.
That's, yeah, I think it's been answered. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. Goal 4 is promote sound and prudent financial management, and objectives under here are review water and sewer rate studies and adjust as needed. And annually review debt schedules and evaluate the need for additional funding. And these are both ongoing. Yeah. Anything else under this section at all?
But it kind of alludes to how do we, get the public to understand again. What's that cost, and we're not as willing, we are spending a lot of time. Looking into water sewer options or.
I was just gonna say, maybe that's something that needs to be in there, that the options, maybe that verbiage options. Review water and sewer rate studies and adjust as needed, and also review water and sewer rate studies / options. You see what I'm saying?
Right, service is most efficient, right?
Exactly, but we're also saying, we're gonna be looking at all the options. Yeah.
You do.
And well, we're doing more now, but if we're looking at the next. With the engineers to go into that next step, yes. Is that okay, did you get? And. Yes. So.
Goal 5 is promote public health, safety and welfare. Objective 1 is complete necessary replacement and maintenance of street and park trees. Objective 2 is revision of ordinances, and objective 3 is explore options and funding for secondary road bridge over the River Raisin.
Why did you have park trees in there? Can you remind us?
I think it was just added with the maintenance of street trees, and instead of having it under parks and having trees in 2 different spots, we just put it together. So I know these are council votes, but I have a question here. I actually have a note to talk to you guys, one of the committee of the whole's coming up, and I don't recall off the top of my head. I want to talk about street trees. Because I need some direction from council. If this is a goal, how, and I'm good with that. How are we going to approach it when people don't want them? So this year, we got the consumers grant funding and we did some street trees, and 2 people were like, I absolutely do not want this tree. It's our right of way, but they typically take care of it. They mow the right of way. And they don't want it because of the leaves that it drops, because they park their car under it, because it lifts up their sidewalk and causes issues because of the maintenance of them or the nuisance of
That
them.
we remove prior, or this is like,
Yeah, one.
well, they don't want to replace.
Right. And that, I'm giving you this example because it's fresh. We go through this every single time. And this year specifically, I just was like, okay, I've gotta have a process because we don't really right now. You guys have set this goal that we want to replace them. But I would say my interactions, the majority of people are like, we don't want it. And our complaints for trees have increased. So did I send you guys we're using a template letter now, because I probably every week get a call from somebody and they're like, I have this nuisance tree, you need to take it down. And we have an ordinance that says we'll only remove the tree if it's a safety hazard or it's dying. Otherwise, they would have to come to council and request it. I'm getting so many requests now that I created a template letter to start, we go look at the tree and then send them this letter.
And are these the trees that are in the right of way,
They're all village trees, because they're in the right of way.
but they maintain?
I can share the letter with you guys. They don't touch them unless council
Well,
approves.
But, I mean, they're mowing around them.
Yes, they're mowing around them.
I was just trying to get a vision of where we're going. So between the sidewalk and the road.
I can send the letter for reference in my weekly summary. This is becoming more and more of a thing. Am I exaggerating once a
No,
week?
yeah.
At least. I mean,
Other kind.
all the things I listed, it's not that for every tree, it's because the tree is dropping things on their vehicle, or dropping things they have to clean up, or dropping things and growing new trees that they have to mow, the leaves, the tearing up their sidewalk, or their curb and gutter, or sometimes their driveway, depending on where it's located. Really, those are the most significant complaints. Or we have some of their sewer lines are getting roots into their sewer main, and they're having to road over it and clean it up, their sewer main out every year, because otherwise it'll back up. So just, it's.
So out of
Insane.
the consumers then, so let's just say there's 15 trees. You're saying that majority did not want them, so out of the 15, 10 said not really.
But keep in mind, of the 15 trees, we did how many out of 223? I think
Yeah.
8 of the 14 on 223 were funded through the grant.
Yes,
And then we did a couple that were on village property. So I think it was 5 trees in public right of ways in front of properties, and 2 of those people did not want
2 of the
that.
5.
And again, that's just this year. I mean, that's not, that's in addition to the calls every week for trees that are already there. And last year we had the same issue. They don't want them. So if we're gonna keep this goal, which
Yeah.
I'm good with, we need to talk about how we're going to address this moving forward. Are we going to say we don't care, it's our right of way? Are we going to work with people? And if our goal is this, we don't have to have an answer tonight
Right.
for how we want to do it. I just need to know if you want to keep this goal, and if you do, I think we need to maybe elaborate that we need to identify some kind of policy or plan, how we're going to, again, fairly address this, like the sidewalk thing, how do we fairly address this? So I don't tell one person, okay, fine, we'll move it, and then the next one, I'm like, you're stuck with it, or.
Is it the type of tree that's driving them nuts, or is it no?
No, cause we.
Well,
stopped-
occasionally.
It is occasionally, like there's a,
The flowering,
what's the pear one?
yeah, Bradford pear.
Bradford pear. They're not, but this one's existing, but it's healthy. So then do we remove, they're complaining about it. So it is sometimes the type of, we don't do walnut trees anymore. We don't do the Bradford pears, but even these new ones that we're doing, they don't want those either.
That to me. That's shocking, this tree hugger, but. Like, the development went in, I think, what, every 30 feet or something, you're supposed to have.
Maybe it's 25,
Whatever, so. Yeah, I would say let's work with people, but let's not make a standard practice, so that. let's
Make
get
it a
our
standard
tree
practice
goals.
where nobody wants trees.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
but you can't make everything wait, say this, you don't want too many waivers. You don't want
Right.
too many exceptions to the rule.
Well, but then how, at what point do you say, again, you don't want a tree there, but you do, well, if he can have that tree, I don't want a tree.
And I guess I'm bringing it up too, because what I'm majority hearing is they don't want it. So should we put our money towards something that's needed or that they want it? I just don't know.
that's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
What, can you do a
I'd
little
love to see those letters somewhere.
Well, I've got a form letter to respond back, but it's usually a phone call. I think I have a email. I probably have a couple, but it's usually a phone call or they stop in or.
Can you, I'd like to leave it on because of the fluidity of the document. I'm curious, Danielle, if you can do a little research with everything else that you're doing, or staff, however. What do other communities do about this?
Well, that's
I'd like
what,
to know.
if you
Yeah.
want to leave it on, I'm good with that. I think we should just maybe add a bullet that says something about like reviewing
Yeah, I think we need
a
to review that.
policy or
Okay.
plan or something. Okay.
I think so they got, for Ann Arbor, we get it. Crazy those people. Oh, even third book people are, they love that stuff, so, whatever. I just.
I'd like to leave it in, but to say, let's review it, yeah.
Love to see parks have nice big all shade covered. They see park by definition, so.
I'm working on my little will, and I'm gonna have a Glenn's Grove here in Blissfield.
You can
Just not that you know. It's gonna be 30 big ass trees and everything. It's gonna be a grove of trees.
Maples?
Yeah, something big.
Nothing, Maples don't have, there's some.
Well, give me something big. I want it big and I want a grove of trees called Glenn's Grove.
Go to the next term, American. See, that's a part.
But you're wondering,
Why wait to see that, sir?
because,
Yeah, let's do it, you know, let's bring sport discussion.
well, I tried.
And the right of way crossing, you know, they cover fiber optics and.
Well, that's the other, I don't.
Right.
For the
On
parks-
the infrastructure side, I don't like trees in the right of way because of what you said, and because they do damage our streets and our sidewalks and. But aesthetically, they do look nice, I don't disagree with that. Okay, well, I added a note that we
Okay.
can review how we want to approach that.
Option number 3, I'd love to see that. For me, I think I brought it up looking at 1977. Original comprehensive plan. That's not. Well, that's old one, but. What if it doesn't get shut down because the water just starts letting it rain?
Do we want to remove that or?
Yes. Plans, indicate where it would go.
But one at, eventually, area north, North Wayne there, something like that.
Like River Street, continuing it on.
Something like that. Continuously down to
Well, I think at one time they talked about where Walnut Street and South Lane Street come together, curves around.
See that happen.
Is that where they do the fireworks?
So,
Run it over.
Okay, goal 6 is promote community economic vitality. Objective 1 is to implement wayfinding signage project, entryway wayfinding signage, that's a mouthful, and relocate east and sign to real boundary. Business recruitment and then implementation of the economic development strategy plan, which we have done and we've just been working on ongoing. We'll have to make some minutes to that here soon.
As a DA representative, probably been shot here and that the wayfinding thing. Should way too much. I would love to see it happen, but we've all got these in our hands. That was all stuff. The minute we pay $250,000 to put something up, business is gonna close or something's gonna change. The entry signs to me are number one for me. Wayfinding us. It's a great idea, but again.
So you're saying the
3 square miles, I think people find.
relocating the east and west?
You're saying remove the first part and just keep that.
I don't think one or as much as I would like to see it. It's kind of, it's almost obsolete.
I don't think our residents will find that money well spent. And I would be, agree.
Well, it happened only about people coming for town.
We can still do it, but it definitely needs to scale. You know, people need to know where the village is, where the schools are, et cetera. We are living in it.
Right.
Right. But,
I think you're right on it.
Everybody else is good with that too, you know?
Yes.
Any other changes for goal 6?
Unless you have a suggestion.
we want to recruit new business and, investors, et cetera, but we don't do so much in this level.
Yeah, we do, it is just, we are limited, but we do the best we can.
Want to add ongoing since it's ongoing
Instead of priorities.
instead of burning.
I like that idea. That's a good idea.
It's always a priority.
The only other thing I think I could add, to continue to fund, and support publicly smartly Glenway now, these kind of entities that, networking or connections to us to say, we expect to see some results from them, but again, as a board, we should wholeheartedly sort of support everybody that's willing to work with us, whether it's regional, not aware of how we are on board or smart or whatever, that kind of thing. I guess, how do we support those economic developers that are out, trying to,
You're stating that as another objective.
I think so, yeah. Yes.
So I did like leverage partnerships and remain active at organizations that already have student skills.
Very nice verbiage there, Dan. Now, leverage and partnership.
That's right out.
I'm not a good public speaker.
Goal 7 is promote transparent and proactive communications. Objective 1 is to implement the public participation plan, implement the marketing plan, continued improvement of communication with residents, and engage with surrounding communities by organizing regular meetings to discuss water, associated fees, address concerns, foster transparency, collaboration, and mutual understanding. We are doing all of these things.
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna keep them up.
If you want to do
Yeah.
ongoing for objective 4.
Sure.
Yeah. Do we have any additions or change? Are you guys good with what the verbiage or?
Continue the calendars, continue the road newsletters or the updates. Content, et cetera, and try to smell things out to the public, much of, like Mike said. Little spiels, paper, or just little updates, a little bad, a little bad.
And I have been working with
Yeah.
Doug. He's been doing some more stories for us and then that,
Oh, yeah.
public participation plan report, like I showed in the marketing plan, we showed like how much we increased constant contacts and
Yes.
how many more people we reach. So we have improved. I think we'll just keep working on it.
Your coffee hour things, and that kind of stuff, you just gotta reach out.
Yep.
Yes, Saturday, 9 to 10.
No.
When is that starting?
I know her.
That's a night.
Yes.
Sir, let's go over.
What'd you say at night?
Night.
Oh, today's at night.
The night would be over.
Yeah. We can have coffee and then go to B-Town.
I better see the doors busted up, and make sure people who work 9 to 5. Monday through Friday, so then Saturday, you go. Here's a question with our building administrator.
Get a coffee and. A couple of times with their team as a trustee, and I had some people attend.
Yeah. I honestly, the one day we had 4 people and I was just so happy. It doesn't really take much to get me excited.
You have one, I mean, you gotta start.
And
Think it team, like, team, when team.
That, on the accomplishments, Danielle, even that kind of stuff, and what I would love for the paper to see. You know what I'm saying? I know some of this is older, but, it's still the same. Look what's been done here. I always dig that stuff.
Yeah, I guess that being said, Gwen, too, I've just rolled this forward since I started. It's something you want me to remove
No.
past years, or do you guys like having?
I love this because this is also 22. This is relevant. Anything from 22, 5 years ago, I think is relevant. That's my opinion. Maybe next year you take off the 22, but you know what?
Yeah, I was debating that this year. I'm like, do
I think a standard 5-year thing. Yeah, 5 years. I like that.
it's hard. This is like just a small piece of what we've accomplished, you guys.
It's not the whole thing. No, I know.
Right, council and staff should be really proud of what we've done the last 5 years. Because I only listed if it was a goal with council.
It's not
We could have
everything
done
else.
something that wasn't even listed.
Right.
We're not good at, we did,
Yeah.
the things that were not listed.
Preface that this is the major stuff that we've done. This is not everything. This is not all.
These are the goals that we have accomplished, that the council has accomplished
Let's
since
just-
2022. A list of goals.
And not, this is what we've accomplished, but not limited to. But not limited to these goals. Extensive list. Yeah, I like that. Digging that.
Yeah.
Is there, this, I can't recall, Danielle, for us, you to put in, a thing into the paper, is there a cost to that, or is there not a cost to that? As from a village perspective, I cannot recall.
So there is, we do get charged for ads and, notices and things like that.
Those I know, but what about,
But they do sometimes will run stories and those aren't, there's not.
but if you had like an editor or an administrator corner. I'd like to ask Doug.
Yeah, I'll ask that. I would suspect there would be a fee for
I
that.
talked to him today, actually.
Did you seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Water. or, and he said. Could be like a guest column. And he was gonna look into that, we thought most likely it would be charged for something like that, but you know, again, if it's consistent, you know,
Yeah.
who knows? Yeah, and obviously their business, and I don't wanna
Right.
fill out the paperwork.
Right.
No, but even if we could get a cost, what it would be, 5 months. You know, once a month, something, a note from the administrator, I think that would be. Good.
Even if it's an ad sign, you know, this card that he's charging us, I think that's well worth.
Exactly.
Spending,
I do
getting
too.
the information.
And if it's something monthly, I think it should be at the same time. Same fee for each month, so people can
Yeah.
know that the second.
The second,
Yeah,
yes,
yes.
yes. And that way it's doable versus a weekly kind of thing for the monthly. Can you make the same thing that you put into the, website if you want to, you know what I'm saying? But, I don't know.
What if we had something at our meetings? Because he comes and reports the meetings, and we said, this is council's accomplished goals, and we're going to read it into our record. And it would take 2 minutes, something like that.
Do it during our.
Do it.
Good idea.
During the council meeting, and then that way. I mean, if they choose not to put it in and want us to pay for it. The village administrator's corner, something like that.
I think maybe you should. From this end, piggyback on your idea.
Sure.
What if we put something like that into our agenda?
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? With the presentation thing or something, a blurb in there. Is that a bad thing?
So-
I just cleared my throat.
I'm
Sorry.
I'm not reading your body language right now. Yeah. I don't know.
Say.
Next meeting, a thing to say, hey, this is our last meeting. for the conference.
Trying to be quiet.
I don't know if that could be part of my presentation or.
I don't know. I feel like we're patting our own backs at a meeting, you know, I'd rather get the thing first.
I like, yeah, you would have
Reminder.
something.
We call it something like community reminder. So here, as I'm listening to, I agree with everything you guys are saying, and I'm chuckling. Because on some of our social media, like the Facebook stuff and all of the different Blissfield web pages that there are. I will go back and read comments where the initial question is answered. 5 days later, for example, if the problem is rabbits running through my yard,
Someone will have answered.
someone will, yes, 5 days later, someone will come up and say, so what's going on with the rabbits? We're just not going to be able to reach those people who refuse to scroll on their own computer. So what I think is really cool is the approach, is that we take the approach, and it seems to be we're moving in that direction. And I just want to reemphasize that. We're looking for different avenues to get information out. At the same time, we cannot be held hostage by those types of people who say, well, I didn't know. I had no idea this was happening. This made no sense.
Because they don't know.
we
what
have-
happens in their lives.
We have 15, I don't know, we probably have close to 1,000
I know, so.
different ways that we are getting information out to the community. And the question is, when we encounter someone that is asking 5 days later, what's the deal with the rabbits? Instead of saying, we got to answer that person, I think our response should be, are we missing some other way to get our information out? And not focus on those people, but focus on, is there another avenue that we have not yet explored? Like the corner in the newspaper. It's a great idea.
It's fantastic.
You know, and then at some point, we also need to reevaluate those, because at some point, having one person is great. But if we have other ways where we're getting 15, it's just the cost benefit return on that and the balance of that, how that balances out. So, but I say we shoot for everything that we can, avenue wise, but not get caught up on those that respond 5 days later because they refuse to scroll their own page. So I think it's fantastic. I love all the ideas of it. That are out. Love it.
So I don't know if I spoke to you, or I was talking about the old cable public access, channel, right, where it would link and it would show you this and link, tell you that. I'm a big believer in PowerPoint slideshows or whatever, Google Slides. At my old company, they did, it was like right on the webpage. And it can be easily updated. You guys have done really great with the layouts and the designs of our, like, fire center or parks and blah, blah. Again, even a TV right mounted up there, you know, BTV, like the MTV logo, have the little bars and then start scrolling through the different things, the different information, you already done seconds. Garbage, reminder, garbage is or recycling is every other Friday, this dates, or street sweeping is this, you know what I mean? Or again, just getting that information out there. And we can provide our things like that. Oh, hey, by the way, go check out the new pavilion about that we just finished, you know what I mean? Again, we link to our website. It's very simple. It plays in the background. You click in and it can be easily manipulated, updated.
That is, people who actually go to our website.
Yeah, but you can do that on, you know what I mean? Once people walk in here and see that, they want to like, oh, well, hey, go to our website, check it out. It provides you a ton of updates all the time, or Facebook, things like that. You can link that stuff in.
Right.
It's all paper links. So again,
We're not simple this.
yeah, exactly. Just, yeah, absolutely play it back on there. It's just all it is.
Because when people come in either door,
Yeah.
they're gonna see the television is on.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's,
You play that
Something
little,
you can-
again, the TV's gone, so use that whole little logo and we can have the school kids color some BTV things and it's, yeah, it's just something, because you guys do very well, but you, I don't know who does your graphic design, but I
Well,
think.
if you keep mixing up, okay, so let me throw this one at you. There's those frames, you know, the frames, the picture frames.
Just like that.
It doesn't have to be something huge. It can be just something on the desk. On there, they can be evolving. Of like a picture.
there's one for every one.
See, it's
Boy, are we
it's
big, bro.
the digital picture frames, you can do that.
I mean, if you guys wanna go crazy,
Yeah.
you can usually work with your local cable companies. And they'll give you a designated local channel that you could actually in your home, watch the village news updates.
That's another option. See,
Yeah.
But we
Yeah,
did
I've seen that before.
there's a lot of communities that you give the channel 8 and it's Village of Blissfield slideshow with
Yep.
this information. You know, like when you go to a hotel.
Yes.
You're the first channel you it's all about the hotel
Yeah.
and stuff, so you wanna go someplace else.
I don't know what the cost is for that channel.
Yeah,
I don't want us to do that.
You don't have to scroll it, doesn't
I
it?
You know, pay for it to be the first thing. Turn on your TV.
You're gonna say, what about
$50.
the
Technology that used to be. I believe that was earlier. People bring these, see that they have to provide a, you know, it's kind of old school, but.
On the Facebook note, I do like that you know how to no comments on the post. I think that's part of it.
Yes.
Let's go around Robin. Tim, you're all quiet. We got on for the list. Go ahead.
I'm good.
You sure?
I am.
No goals?
Additions.
No additions.
Bill,
Good discussion.
any addition that you want to see that we haven't really?
Have my marching orders. Talk a little.
That'd be great.
When?
Nope, I kind of got the idea, for Parks and Rec. I think that we'll go ahead and tweak that a little bit. And everything else, I've already gave my comments. Thank you.
Jared.
I like the whole list. I think once a retreat to great, I love this, the accomplishments like that.
No, I agree. I like the goals. And I like the fact that we eliminate things as well.
Yes.
It isn't, the usual government keeps adding and adding. I like it when we can.
Well, I like that we're clarifying too.
Yeah.
The clarifying is clean stuff.
The only thing I would want to maybe throw would be the ordinance enforcement. Kind of, and getting us some email about how aggressive, again, councils change, perceptions change, and opinions change from the public. So.
This is something that- Good thing.
Just rewriting. the
Rewriting.
ordinance. Oh, yeah.
You know, how aggressive, you know, did the chief and Maddie go out, are they seeking out light, are we addressing things, are we doing it as needed basis?
But you, Mike, you are so smart. See what Gunter does? Yes, all of us are not ideas that he's got the one to nail it. Very good.
Oh, I know,
That's my only one.
I
Well,
think that
it's on committee of the whole next month.
is it seriously? I think that's fabulous.
It's just how aggressive our serving.
Uh,
We need to be consistent.
Aggressive, be aggressive.
And I know Jackie's
I
already.
like the better way to say it.
Jackie likes seeing the mattresses and the garbage laying out there.
Oh, my.
But yeah, I'm saying how aggressive.
No, I think that that's absolutely. Yeah.
Again, it's time, it's money unfortunately, but again, it also, it's something in our community, we have the ordinances in place, we've already followed them. Building code, all that kind of stuff, how aggressive are, and that gives our stand direction.
Sure, I didn't stand up. You stand up.
Everyone else?
Did anybody happen to see the dresser beside the?
Yes.
Recycle?
I was informed about that.
I drove through there just, I drove there,
See, why does somebody?
there's always something, must have been Saturday night, I'm like, let's drive through, I wanna see how cold that is. I can't remember, and there's a dresser set there, and I'm like,
Did someone come grab it or?
it was sitting there, and I was like, my head was gonna pop off my shoulders when I seen it, because that is not what that is for.
Do we have that on, I mean, I know it's on our, been on our radar. Is that something I know we talked about? If it's not working, we don't have.
So the county was getting some information for me about if we could do additional pickups and or another container. I was waiting for that and then I do have a letter ready that we have to give 30 days notice, but I was kind of hoping to get some more information before I.
But if they don't get back, you know, give yourself a time frame. If you don't hear by whatever date your magic date is, January the 31st, then we're done. I mean, you've done what you can do it, and if you're not gonna get back with you.
Yeah, it's a few bad actors.
Yeah, and how do you address that? I mean,
Can't.
I think we could take that dresser apart and maybe put one a couple skate ramps.
I think that might hurt. You can put the skate ramp in your yard.
well, but I told David was, because I redo furniture, I'm like, you know, it wasn't so cold out, I might consider maybe just come back with your pickup truck and grabbing that, but we have no place to put. Well, before I even said, we have no place, because our garage is already full of shit, I can't get stuff out. Okay.
What was the worst on it? It's a recycle bin. Put your recycle in.
Scrolls. Leave the tables and chairs. Set
Say
up,
what?
please.
Leave it.
Yes, please leave. I'm only gonna take the microphones down because DDA is doing meeting Wednesday. We're gonna leave this set up for them and set up and take it down. You're doing strategic planning, so